L'amour avec un grand A, celui qu'on se sert. C'est après les mômes qu'il commence pour de vrai. Dans les débuts, c'est l'envie d'hobby. On se promet tout, et ça pour la vie. Ça va, encore et encore. Et toi et moi, c'est jusqu'à la gare. Si.
Welcome to the 2023 ISA World SUP and Paddleboard Championships. We are here in the beautiful Les Sables-d'Olonne in France, and we have an incredible week of SUP surfing and racing coming up in front of us. Shannon Hughes here in the booth alongside the six-time world champion in Casper Steinfath. Casper, it is great to have you joining in the conversation and to call to action this week because you've got so much experience yourself.
Thank you, Shannon. It's a huge pleasure to be here in France at Les Sables-d'Olonne, the ISA World Championship and Paddleboard Championship. Being an athlete myself, I'm super excited to try something different, being on the commentary team and trying to share my insights and bring to you out there all the action. Really excited for it.
It's going to be incredible. Well, of course, before we start out our actual days of competition with SUP surfing starting out tomorrow and the racing to come in days after that, we're going to take a look at the Parade of Nations, which is a really traditional side of ISA events, whether it's the World Surfing Games, the juniors, the longboard, the stand-up, or the para. The Parade of Nations is something that we've all come to know and love and something that you yourself have experienced, Casper.
It is one of those experiences that really sticks to a lot of athletes. Like as we see, the parade is getting started here, going down the streets of Les Sables-d'Olonne. It's one of the things where, you get to represent your country, you're carrying around your flag, walking with your teammates, laughing, chanting, feeling that local vibe, and celebrating the coming together of many nations for competition. It's a special atmosphere to be part of.
And such a great way to kick things off beforehand as well. Like you said, that camaraderie, a lot of the athletes getting to see friends from different nations that they maybe haven't run into in the last year or two, or maybe even longer than that. So it's a great time to just come together and to get to see the streets of the local town here. It's such a beautiful place in the world to be able to witness this week.
It is. And, France just carries a special place in many people's hearts. Actually, I took a moment before the webcast started here to myself walk down the streets and meet a lot of the athletes that, I haven't seen for many years. And it is a reunion in a lot of ways. It also gets that energy going because we are at a world championship. And of course, athletes are here to win and to perform at the highest level. But at the same time, it is a colorful celebration as well. And, there's a little bit of goosebump when you see so many nations and faces coming together.
Yeah, I love that description of it. The fact that it just gets the blood flowing. It gets that energy, those excitement levels, knowing that there's a lot of fun to be had this week, but there's also a lot of pressure being that it is the World Championships and that every single competitor here this week wants to walk away with the gold medal.
There's excitement in the air, yeah, and it's a world championship is. I just remember for myself as an active athlete, you train dedicated 4 months, and sometimes the better part of the year towards this 1 week where everything culminates. So I know for some athletes it's also a bit of a tough thing to walk down and take your mindset away from the Terminator mindset.
Yeah.
But I think we got to remember that we love this sport, we share a passion, and once the parade is finished, I'm sure we'll have plenty of time to go into hardcore competition.
It's so true, and I've noticed in the last couple of days of being already here in town, starting to fight the jet lag, really getting a feeling for the country, eating some great food, all of the things, that so many of these athletes have already been here. They've been out practicing at the beach for the surfing event. They've been out practicing for the racing as well. So a lot of that energy's already been there for those surfers, for those stuff surfers, and for the paddlers to be able to really get a feeling for this place and to already get those practice runs in as well.
It is crucial, yeah, to arrive early, and I think all the athletes are entering their own set of pre-performance routines. There's of course the preparation on the actual day of competition, but a lot of athletes choose to arrive at a venue early to get a feeling for the conditions. What's the beach like? Where are the waves breaking? What can we expect when the tide changes? All these variable factors is something that you as an athlete want to get on top of, and of course also get a taste of that local culture, the croissants, the local coffee in town, and
We're taking a look at the local culture. We've got the band just walking through and leading the parade behind there. We can see the flags of the first couple of nations waving behind. You can see in the left-hand side of the screen, La Grande Plage is the beach here where all of the racing events specifically will be happening.
Yeah, so here in Sables-d'Olonne, we have 2 event sites. We have La Grande Plage, where the parade is going to culminate, and we're going to have the official opening ceremony, I believe. This is where the racing, the technical racing, the distance racing, sprints, and the team relays are going to originate. We also have the board storage down here, but there is the satellite event site as well over at La Plage de Tanchet. I'm still working on that pronunciation. Where the SUP surfing section of the event is. It's probably like 2 kilometers further down the beach, but in an area where the swell really comes in a lot more powerful.
That's right. I mean, just driving in today, you could already see the difference in size of swell at Plage de Tanchet in comparison to what we see at La Plage Grande. As we take a look here at some of the teams starting to walk through, Team Australia in the front there, Brazil and Canada just behind.
We got Aline Arisaka from Brazil dancing and cheering, sharing the colors. We got the parade moving now. Everyone's bringing their the fun and the smiles.
Exciting to see a lot of former medalists that are in the draw this week. We'll be seeing plenty of those competitors throughout. Costa Rica represented, and the Czech Republic just behind.
Czech Republic coming on with a very strong race team this year. I don't think they're bringing a SUP surfer, but they got some very excellent racers coming into the mix.
Exciting to see some of those nations that aren't so well known for surfing specifically. Your home nation of Denmark.
Right there, my heart is melting right there. That's Denmark, Polar Bear, and all the Danish guys and girls. There's so many familiar faces here for me. We got Holly Bassett and Team England here. They're really, so many athletes, a lot of friends for me. I feel a little bit itchy actually right now. I feel like I should be in there.
A little bit different sitting on this side of things for the former 6-time world champion. Now, of the world titles that you hold, 4 of those specifically come from ISA gold medals.
Yeah, so 4 of the titles, 3 from technical racing and 1 from sprint racing with the ISA. It's been my dream to become a world champion since I started paddling, and now I sit here looking back at 15 years of competing. And look at this, we got team. Is this Saudi Arabia?
Team Saudi Arabia.
And Iran right there actually. Sorry about that. And Team Italy here. Italians, I have this feeling about them. They have this energy, especially with the Nika brothers and Paolo Morconi and Cecilia Pampinella, the under 18. Women's champion from last year. There's a lot of names to watch out for.
It's going to be exciting too, especially after seeing the ISA World SUP and Paddleboard Championships return last year in Puerto Rico. There have been a few years off in between events, so it was great to see some new names thrown into the mix. But now to be able to see a lot of those kind of the veterans of the sport coming together with the juniors, the up-and-comers, and to be able to see some of those new names that were able to walk away with some medals last year.
Every single time there's like a little break, or not even a break, but just a year passes, and you go to an event, you have this series of new faces, young guns, fresh blood coming into the sport. I think there's a lot of teams that are actually taking an opportunity here to bring totally new teams. Saudi Arabia, speaking of...
Yeah, it's exciting to see them with so many racers on their team. Team Spain just behind.
Yeah, Spain, watch out. They mean business, and I think if anyone can put a stick in the wheel to stop Team France's three-peat of the team championship, it might be Team Spain.
It's pretty exciting, Team USA there on screen, to think about the fact that France has that opportunity for a three-peat. They took out the gold medal for the team's gold medal specifically at the previous 2 ISA World SUP and Paddleboard Championships. Before that, those gold medals were really dominated by Australia and the USA historically. So now France has really become the strong team over the last few years. And yeah, what are some of those nations that you think could be a good contender like that of Spain?
Well, I think it goes without saying that France has been a powerhouse the last few years. The Australia team, especially led by Jamie Mitchell and Kelly Margetts in the early days, was a dominant factor, but has kind of faded into the background in recent years. USA had a golden era for some years, led especially by Candace Appleby and Danny Ching and Connor Baxter. Can't forget Connor. But now it's like the powerhouse seems to be France. They have the deep level of talent. They have a very strong club culture here. Developing talents as well, so it's going to be interesting. Without any saying, like it's going to be interesting to follow where this ends.
Yeah, that's exciting too, to think of a team that has that sort of ground support, that grassroots movement, like you said, of a clubs movement, which is so important across all sports, to be able to see that, that growth from those young ages of competitors being able to get into a sport in the development, so specifically for SUP and for paddleboarding here in France, but also now to see them as the host nation. They've got that support on the ground. They're going to have the entire beach cheering for them.
I mean, look at it right now. This is Sunday afternoon in France. I think we picked a pretty good day to come down and have this opening parade. I was just walking out there before, and it's packed. It's packed. Like, look, it's sardines almost. There's so many French people out cheering for the home team.
Yeah, it's really exciting. Here at La Grande Plage in Les Sables-d'Olonne. It is such a beautiful part of the world, one of the great beaches of Europe when it comes to destination. There's just so much beautiful culture here, from the food, from the entertainment here in town, straight down to the shoreline, whether it's people being interested in sailing and surfing and all sorts of water sports. We can see all the sailboats out throughout the day this morning as well. So there's really just this lively culture here in the water.
There's a very strong maritime heritage here. I'm not a sailor myself, but I have a very deep understanding of, they're proud here of especially having the start and finish of the Vendée Globe, which maybe not everyone knows, but it's the sailing race that goes around the world. It starts right here, and I think that's also why they're able to have such a strong club culture and bring kids from a young age into maritime sports of many kinds.
Yeah, it's amazing to be able to see that sort of international influence here, specifically in this town. To see one of the great races within sailing culture that begins and finishes right here, and to be able to see that growth within young cultures. I'm sure the reason why a few of the team members for Team France are even in the water today.
Yeah, there's it goes without saying. France, I think, across the board in all kinds of water sports are just a powerhouse. I don't know if it's something. There's something in the water clearly around here, but they're good at getting. That's the impression I have, at least, that they're good at getting kids into the water, having fun, playing with various crafts at a young age, and letting the fun continue to grow. I mean, just look at the beach right there. It's inviting.
Amazing to see that sand art as well. And I love this drone angle of it. Really beautiful decorations down on the shoreline. It's going to be fun, speaking of Team France this week, to be able to see, former returning champions like Justine Dupont, Titouan Pouillot, and Julien Martí-Corena all competing.
Yeah, there's a strong list of French contenders. One thing I'm particularly interesting, like France has a lot of good stories on the team, not least Justine Dupont, who is 5 months pregnant. She is competing at a high level. She is an incredible water woman. I'm really curious to speak to her and follow her during the event to understand what's in. I became a father recently, and I'm just very curious what is going through her mind right now, about to enter motherhood, but also be a professional athlete, and not least also Titouan Pouillot. Is it true that he's about to call it quits on his stand-up paddling career? Is this his last hooray, the final dance, so to say? The rumors out there. I don't know if he's really going to hang up the competition jersey, but maybe we'll find out this week.
Well, how difficult was it for you to hang up that jersey, walking away with the world titles that you had? Was that maybe facilitating an easier transition, or did that make it a little bit harder for you to let go of it, knowing that it was such a great part of your life?
Well, to be honest, I haven't officially let it go yet. I think in my mind I've kind of accepted that it was a fantastic period during the last 15 years, chasing the golds and titles. But it's very hard because you build an identity and you're very, attached to the culture and the family of paddling. I think that's the hardest thing has been for me is, do I want to let go of that? Or is there a way I can stay attached? And maybe sitting here right now as a commentator is, maybe that's the future for me.
I think that's a beautiful way to say it as well. The identity that you find as a paddler, the identity that Justine Dupont would find as a paddler, as a surfer, and wanting to raise her new family with that same identity, to be out here competing, knowing that, she's got a little boy on the way, and hopefully getting him into the water as quickly as she can. She's already well on that journey. As we can see the parade just starting to come into the area here at La Grande Plage, where our opening ceremonies will begin, and that's always a really special time as well, to see the pouring the sands of the world ceremony, where each one of these nations has brought sand from their local beach, from beaches around the world, to be able to pour together into the same bowl and really show the uniting of the nations.
Yeah, we're going to see the the symbol of peace and coming together through sport in the sands of the nation ceremony. It's always a kind of a special moment to see something like that as we see the parade continue to move down the beach. It's really packed in there.
Really cool.
I like this Channel Islands. This is Aaron Rowe. I think Lone Wolf, actually, one-man band from the island of Jersey. I'm sure his dad, Tim Rowe, is out there watching right now as his son tries to represent the local island.
That's so cool, too, to see that kind of representation coming in, to see a national federation that's here from the Channel Islands specifically, and to know that, him even just being here and competing this week shows others from their home islands, from the Channel Islands, from Jersey, the opportunity that is in front of them to be able to grow and pack out a full team.
Yeah. I mean, it's and not every team, you got to remember, is a full team. You have Italy, for example, right there. They have a complete team, and they mean business by coming here. And then again, you have smaller teams, which I think also is an interesting factor because they sometimes possess the underdog, qualities. You don't expect necessarily, say, Channel Islands to be the big news of the event, but it might be something that could lead to something down the line, right?
That's so true. And when we talk about getting those gold medal wins,
here we go, Peru.
At the end of the week, those gold medals for the teams specifically, not on the individual basis, but on the teams, will likely be going to the teams that have a full team, where they've got competitors across every single division, because they'll be able to get more points that way. Yeah. We can hear that parade is getting closer and closer to us now.
They are certainly getting closer. I hear the drums. I feel the tension mounting.
I can nearly feel the drums through my seat right now.
There's some bass to this. Here we have USA. I think some would say a change of the guard on the USA team. We got Cern Preston and Campbell Carter walking past us right there. Two young guns, that herald the future of that team. And obviously other athletes not making it this year from US. It gives the opportunity for the new generation to pop up and show what they're made of.
Yeah, it's exciting, especially with the conversation leading towards the Olympics, with the hope of including one day for stand-up paddling and for paddleboarding as well, for the paddle community to be included in that conversation, which is happening. We don't know that it will be confirmed, but we're hopeful that for LA 28 that paddleboarding or stand-up paddling specifically will be included into that conversation. So it's great to see a lot of those younger competitors coming into this now, because that's still 4 or 5 years away, and to see the growth that can come through from those nations is really exciting.
It is. As we hear the drums come even closer, the music is spinning outside. But let's just enjoy and be engulfed by this energy that's kicking off. Marking the blast off of what we got 7-8 days of competition in front of us.
That's right. We got 7 days of competition in front of us. Tomorrow morning we will be kicking off with the SUP surfing. We're gonna have 3 days in total down at Flag du Tanchet, which is, like you said, about 2 kilometers away from where we're currently sitting, towards the south, where it just picks up a little bit more swell. It's a bit more solid there today than what we have right here at La Grande Plage. So we'll have 3 days of SUP surfing to get through, and then after that we'll have that followed by 4 days of racing. And there's quite a few disciplines within the racing side.
Yes, on the racing side, I believe it's 4 styles of racing. We have the technical race, both for we have the technical race for stand-up paddling and prone. We have the distance race for stand-up paddling and prone. We have the sprints for the stand-up paddling, and then to finish it all off on Sunday is the relay race, which is one of the favorites of all the teams, where you're competing beyond just more than just for yourself. You're in a relay situation with your teammates, trying to bring something home for your country. So there's a lot of racing to come, and I think it's just personally as a racer, I think it's nice that we can condense the racing into these 4 or 5 days at the end of the holding period. And just looking, we'll talk much more about it, but the forecast we have in front of us, combined with this epic venue, I can only kind of wish I was in the running for a race right now, because it's some epic conditions and a forecast on hold for us.
And what is it about those conditions that's making it look so epic?
Well, specifically the conditions on tap is we have an Atlantic Ocean that has gone out of summer hibernation. We have low pressures that are kicking into gear. We got lots of swell, high period swell heading for us. We had a swell today of, I think it was 5 feet at 16 seconds, which, we have decent swell for the surfing the first 3 days, but we also have some storm systems that are going to produce, I would say, chest to head-high waves maybe later in the week for the racing. So I think we're all kind of, at least all the athletes are holding their breath right now to see, is it going to be, manageable conditions, or we're going to have some storm chaos challenge all of us as we get closer to the weekend.
Yeah, it'll be exciting to see that swell that we've got, for the SUP surfing that'll kick off for the first 3 days. But then when it comes to the wind and that swell within the racing, those just add so many different factors of challenge, but also that kind of ease that comes with having waves that are breaking in the right direction, and you're able to catch those little swells and bump on.
That's there's many dimensions of racing. I think everyone that's going to be watching this week, you have, and also the athletes have preferences of certain styles, but it goes without saying that when you add waves to the equation of a race, you add another factor for potential glory or disaster, because you cannot control the waves, right?
Yeah.
And that's what makes it so fantastic to watch, in my opinion, at least. That you have the X factor of what happens if you catch that wave. Do you break away from the field on the second lap, or does it devastate you? Send you to the back of the field? It's kind of this X factor, I would say, that the waves are, and we always dream of a venue like this. So here we go, we got it, the Sables-d'Olonne.
What a beautiful location to be kicking off today for our opening day of the ISA World SUP and Paddleboard Championships. We'll just be running through our opening ceremonies. Of course, we're finishing out the Parade of Nations right now, and tomorrow morning, bright and early, we'll be kicking off with competition. It's nice to have the parade running a little bit closer to the evening. It's about 5:30 p.m. local time. And so throughout the entire day today, all of these athletes have been able to spend a lot of time in the water. They've been able to get a feeling for the ocean over the last few days of arrival, getting to shake off some of that jet lag, connecting with their teams if they're maybe flying in from different parts of their own countries or different nations as well. And now to be together for the Parade of Nations, a really fantastic way to start off the week.
It certainly
Please
is.
welcome the national team from Australia.
Merci d'accueillir l'équipe nationale de l'Australie.
So there we can see the different countries that are walking into
Please welcome the
stadium
national
here
team
to
from
sit down
Belgium.
and
Merci
enjoy their time
d'accueillir
during the
l'équipe
opening
nationale de la
ceremony. It's a great
Belgique.
time as we can hear our stadium announcers just calling them in country by country.
Got Australia in the house.
Please welcome the
A nation that historically has been really strong within paddleboarding.
They have put their mark, especially on the early days of stand-up paddling and paddleboarding. Australia having such a strong ocean culture, led by some legends in the early days. And I think again, it's a change of the guard. It's a new generation coming in. Really excited to see some of the athletes from Australia, new faces, but I also think some familiar faces. I'm curious to dive into that.
You can see Canada there, who just followed behind Brazil.
Yep, Team Canada. I see Dan Miller on the team there. They have some experienced racers, and I think Team Canada is always good energy when you see them on the beach.
It'll be exciting to see how Brazil goes in the conversation as well from the SUP surfing side, because we know traditionally in surfing that they're an extremely powerful nation.
You have Luis Diniz from Brazil, I think 3-time SUP surfing world champion at the ISA. So I'm not sure if he's back this year, but they've definitely set a mark on the stand-up paddle surfing, especially when the waves prove challenging.
Czech Republic getting ready to walk into the stadium as well, just behind Costa Rica. Some of these nations coming from warmer water, a little bit more tropical, and now getting to compete in colder Atlantic Ocean conditions.
True. It's definitely colder than Costa Rica. I think, what are we looking at, 20 degrees Celsius water temperatures here, so it's not cold, but with the wind out there today, I see it's chilly. Denmark. We see on the right side there, Asger Schmidt, one of the young guns we got here. I think it's his first world championship, actually, waving the Danish flag. I know he's a funny kid. We can expect, if not some good stuff on the water, definitely some entertainment as he makes his way to the beach.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun this week through the broadcast to be able to connect with a lot of these different athletes and to hear their stories as well.
To be honest, I'm having a fully overload right here. I'm seeing so many friends, so many familiar faces, good stories, and I'm happy that this half-hour broadcast we're doing now is not the entire week.
take a breath knowing that we've got 7 more days
Breathe.
after this. We've got hours and hours of broadcast footage to be able to cover and to share the stories. It's going to be so fun to have you. It's good to have Bo Nixon joining in the conversation as well this week. And
True.
To really be able to share with us the heart and the identity of the paddleboarding community.
Yeah, I think especially Bo Nixon being one of the commentators as well, he'll have some great insights into the SUP surfing side, even more than I have. Like, I'm more focused on the racing, but you know, Bo is a very seasoned competitor himself, and we'll have some great insights.
Yeah, amazing as well as we can see Team Italy there starting to enter into the conversation. To see that, to have, I think, for this side of things, representatives as we take a look at Iran.
Right here is the story of the event so far. Iran shows up with a full team. I was genuinely surprised. I spent some time talking to them the last few days, and we're down to testing some boards earlier today. They got energy. They got, maybe not the ambition to win the event, but they're here to just be a sponge, absorbing information and, taking something home to build on.
Oh, it's so exciting as well to see the dynamics of that team, like you said, to see it fully packed out, to see women and men represented. I think it's really something that can speak volumes to as we see Italy entering into the conversation.
We got Italy, a lot of familiar faces there, not least the Nica brothers. Actually, Claudio Nica, a newly minted father, I think less than 2 weeks ago. Surprised to see him here. I'm sure he's going to be competing for his family as well. Very cool to see him here.
Japan, entering in.
I believe the story of the last World Championship in Puerto Rico last year was Shrimpy, Shuri Araki, that took 2 gold medals with him back to Japan. Really, I think in the core community, we had known him for many years being a strong competitor, but just blasted his way through the competitive ranks last year and showed that he's here to do business.
Yeah, that was so exciting to see him take away the SUP technical race and the SUP distance race. And, really different between those 2 races. Talking about the distance being about 18 kilometers, and then the technical race being a lot shorter, but very challenging when it comes to all the turns involved.
Yeah. There's similarities, but there's definitely just big difference, especially in duration between paddling for 20 minutes or 2 hours. It's kind of interesting when you see athletes. We can talk much more about. This is the nerdy side of me that goes on here, but what makes a great athlete? And it used to be that people would do every single event. Like back in the early days for me, like we would sprint, do long distance, and do the tech races. Where now you're seeing athletes specialize more and more. Like they'll opt out of certain disciplines. But then you have like Shuri last year that just came in and said, I don't mind. I do both the long distance and the tech, and I'll show you I can do it.
Exciting to see those that are well-rounded, but also to see the real intricacies, the dynamics of an athlete who decides to stick to that same discipline. Similar thing that we would see in running, a distance runner versus a sprint runner versus someone with hurdles.
Imagine seeing Usain Bolt do the 100-meter dash and the marathon.
That would be crazy.
As we see Portugal here, Veronica, Tomas, and led by their coach, Sapo. Spent a lot of time in Portugal training with those guys.
Puerto Rico entering now. They hosted last year's World SUP and Paddleboard Championships, which was really exciting to be able to, witness that country, that culture, and just a beautiful venue when it came to the distance racing, going out around the island, and to the surfing venue as well.
It was. I was actually, unfortunately, not able to make it last year. I just saw pictures from the party. It was a cool venue, nonetheless.
Saudi Arabia entering in with a smaller size team, but great to see them represented here this year.
Absolutely. Newcomers.
So 30 nations in total represented. We've got roughly 200 competitors. Roughly 200 competitors that will be competing across all the disciplines throughout this week. Spain walking in just behind South Africa now.
On South Africa, we got Thomas King and Taryn King bringing husband and wife actually competing. They brought their 2 kids along with them.
That's
And
right.
make
Koa
it-
and Izzy,
Making it a family affair, yeah.
very exciting. I believe Taryn's mom is in tow with them as well. So that's going to be exciting, being that both of them had so much success in the past. Taryn being a former gold medalist.
True, yeah. But look at Spain. Look at this team. They have so many strong athletes. Like I don't even know where to begin. You got Ibaya Rueno, accomplished windsurfer, leading the charge. I don't know if I would want to be the team manager of Spain. Like there's so much talent to keep track of there.
It's exciting, too, to see a team that's that stacked, knowing that they, every single team that's here, they're hungry for those gold medals. They're hungry for those team medals. But specifically, being a border country to France, a healthy rivalry between the nations through a lot of the time. Now to be here in France looking to try and take away that team gold medal.
Yeah, they're here with an objective.
Yes.
You can see it in Spain. Like they have their coaches acting very tactically. They got some plans, and I'm curious to dive into the team dynamic as well. But the home team, here we go, France.
France followed just behind the USA, and of course, traditionally, it's always the host country that comes in last in the Parade of Nations, just trails behind everyone else and has a huge welcome as they walk into the stage.
They are the hometown heroes. They have, I'm just looking at, there's so many faces here. There's Titouan Pouillou in the back, along with Noïc Carriot, Justine Dupont. Actually, Noïc's little brother, Vike. Also a guy to look out for in the junior tech racing.
Well, very exciting. We've got so much action that we're going to be talking through. Casper, it was great to be able to call through the Parade of Nations with you. Let's go down for the opening ceremonies with Ben Way.
Ladies and gentlemen, all of the countries and athletes have gathered together here in Les Sables-d'Olonne, France.
Mesdames et messieurs, tous les pays et athlètes sont désormais réunis ici au Sables-d'Olonne, en France, le pays organisateur de la compétition.
In the spirit of fair play, it is with great pleasure we welcome everyone to the official opening ceremony of the 2023 ISA World SUP and Paddleboard Championship.
Dans un esprit de fair play, c'est avec grand plaisir que nous vous accueillons tous à la cérémonie d'ouverture officielle des championnats du monde de stand-up paddle et paddleboard de l'ISA 2023.
We would like to welcome and introduce the following dignitaries.
Nous souhaitons la bienvenue et accueillons les dignitaires suivants.
President of the Vendée County Council, Mr. Alain Leboeuf.
Le président du conseil départemental de la Vendée, Monsieur Alain Leboeuf.
Yannick Moreau, mayor of Les Sables-d'Olonne.
Yannick Moreau, maire des Sables-d'Olonne.
President of the local organizing committee, Mr. Pascal Caduc.
Le président du comité d'organisation locale, Monsieur Pascal Caduc.
ISA Vice President, Mr. Jean-Luc Arassus.
Le vice-président de l'ISA, Monsieur Jean-Luc Arassus.
And the ISA Executive Director, Mr. Robert Fasulo.
Le directeur exécutif de l'ISA, Monsieur Robert Fasulo.
Now let's please stand for the national anthem of France.
Nous vous demandons maintenant de bien vouloir vous lever pour l'hymne national de la France.
Thank you very much. Onda de Bahia. Muito obrigado. Now let us begin the Sands of the World ceremony. We will call on the countries to come to the stage and bring with them their local sands. The sand from each country will be placed in the container on stage to symbolize the peaceful gathering of nations through the love of SUP and paddleboarding.
Nous allons maintenant commencer la cérémonie du mélange des sables du monde. Nous demandons aux pays de bien vouloir monter sur scène et d'apporter les sables de leur plage locale. Le sable de chaque pays sera placé dans un contenant sur scène pour symboliser l'union pacifique des nations à travers l'amour du SUP et du paddleboard.
Let's welcome Team Argentina with flag bearer Lucia Cosoleto, sand pourer Santino Basaldella, with sands from the beach of La Florida, Rosario.
Nous commençons par l'Argentine. Porte-drapeau Lucia Cosoleto, porte-sable Santino Passalera, du sable de la plage de La Florida, Rosario, Argentine.
Next, let's welcome Team Australia with flag bearer Wesley Fry, sand pourer Skylar Rayner, with sands from the beach of Nautilus.
Pour l'Australie, le porte-drapeau est Wesley Fry, porte-sable Skylar Rayner. Le sable vient de la plage de Naraloo, en Australie.
Next, let's welcome Team Belgium with flag bearer Kjell de Bruyne, sand pourer Vincent Clayskens, with sands from the beach of Cookseed.
Pour la Belgique, le porte-drapeau est Kjell de Bruyne. Le sable est porté par Vincent Claskens et le sable vient de Cookseed.
Next, let's welcome Team Brazil with our flag bearer Adriano Jose Nozikovski, sand pourer Rebecca Bremer-Klotz, with sands from the beaches of Praia Grande, Pena, and Santa Catarina.
Pour le Brésil, le porte-drapeau est Adriano José Nozikovski. Le sable est porté par Revela Bremer-Klotz et il provient des plages de Praia Grande, Peña et Santa Catarina.
Next, let's welcome Team Canada with our flag bearer Cam Carney, sand pourer Lise Richards, with sand from the beach of Chesterman Beach.
Pour l'équipe du Canada, le porte-drapeau est Cam Carney. Le sable est porté par Liz Richards et le plage vient de Chesterman Beach.
Next, let's welcome the Channel Islands with flag bearer and sand pourer Aaron Rowe, with sands from the beach of St. Owens.
Pour les îles anglo-normandes, c'est Aaron Rowe qui porte le drapeau et le sable. Et le sable nous vient de la plage de St. Owens.
Next, let's please welcome Team Costa Rica with flag bearer Juan Bernini, sand pourer Sebastian Fumero, with sands from the beaches of Herradura, Jaco, y Hermosa.
Pour le Costa Rica, Juan Bernini est le porte-drapeau et le sable est porté par Sebastian Fumero. Le sable nous provient des plages de Herradura, Jaco et Hermosa.
Next, let's welcome the Czech Republic with our flag bearer, Matěj Sokop, and the sand pourer, Linda Sirovatkova, with sands from the beach of Bezdrev.
Place à la République tchèque avec pour porte-drapeau Matěj Sokop et le sable est porté par Linda Sirovatkova de la plage de Bezdrev.
Next, let's welcome Team Denmark with flag bearer Asger Schmidt, sand pourer Katrine Bergman with sands from the beach of Klitmøller.
L'équipe du Danemark, le porte-drapeau est Asger Schmidt. Le sable est porté par Katrine Bergman et le plage nous provient de la plage de Klitmøller.
Next, let's welcome Team El Salvador with our flag bearer and sand pourer, Jocelyn Alabi, with sands from the beach of El Sunsal.
Le Salvador, drapeau et sable porté par Jocelyne Alabi. Le sable nous provient de la plage de El Sunzal.
We can get more later. Yeah. I need my pen though. Next, let's welcome the team from England with our flag bearer Hector Jessel, sand pourer Holly Bassett, with sands from the beach of West Wittering.
Pour l'équipe d'Angleterre, c'est Hector Jessel qui est le porte-drapeau et Holly Bassett qui porte le sable qui nous vient de la plage de West Wittering.
Next, let's welcome Team Germany with our flag bearer Benjamin Bosak, sand pourer Scotty Langbane, with sands from the beach of Fehmarn.
L'Allemagne, porte-drapeau le jeune Benjamin Bosak, porte-sable Scotty Langbane. Le sable nous vient de la plage de Fehmarn.
Next, let's welcome Team Iran with our flag bearer Alireza Gahaharian, sand pourer Elaha Shirin Abadi, with sand from the beach of Susa, Keshem Island.
Place à l'Iran avec pour porte-drapeau Alireza Gaharian et le sable est porté par Elahi Shirin Abadi. Le sable nous vient de la plage de Sousa sur l'île de Keshem.
Next, let's welcome Team Italy with our flag bearer Leonard Nica and our sand pourer Cecilia Pampinella, with sands from the beach of Civitavecchia.
L'Italie, porte-drapeau Leonard Nica. Et le sable est porté par Cecilia Pampinella et il nous vient de la plage de Civitavecchia.
Next, let's welcome Team Japan with our flag bearer, Nariakira Shimazu, Sanpor Rinka Mizutani, with sands from the beach of Tsurigasaki Beach, the first Olympic venue for Tokyo 2020.
Place au Japon avec pour porte-drapeau Nariakira Shimazu. Le sable est porté par Rinka Mizutani. Et le sable nous vient de la plage de Tsurigasaki, site olympique de Tokyo 2020.
Next, let's welcome Team Netherlands with flag bearer Donato Vriends, Sanpor Cohen Proest, with sands from the beaches of Domburg, Netherlands.
Accueillons désormais les Pays-Bas. Porte-drapeau Donato Vriends. Le sable est porté par Cohen Proest et il nous vient de la plage de Domburg.
Next, let's welcome Team New Zealand with flag bearer Billy Scott, Sanpor Carlos Arson, with sands from the beach of Wangamatta.
L'équipe de la Nouvelle-Zélande, porte-drapeau Billy Scott, sable porté par Carlos Arsen et il nous vient de la plage de Wangamatta.
Next, let's welcome Team Peru with our flag bearer Jose Sebastián Gómez del Castillo and Sanpor Itzel Delgado Naranjo, with sands from the beach of Punta Hermosa.
L'équipe du Pérou, porte-drapeau José Sebastián Gómez del Castillo, sable porté par Itzel Delgado Naranjo de la plage de Punta Hermosa.
Next, let's welcome Team Poland with our flag bearer Przemysław Kowalski and Sanpor Walenty Kowalski, with sands from the beach of Brzezno.
La Pologne, porte-drapeau Przemysław Kowalski, sable porté par Walenty Kowalski de la plage de Brezno.
Next, let's welcome Team Portugal with our flag bearer Guilherme Olim and our Sanpor Mia Silva, with sands from the beach of Porto.
Accueillons l'équipe du Portugal, porte-drapeau Guilherme Olim, sable porté par Mia Silva, et il nous vient de Porto.
Next, let's welcome Team Puerto Rico with flag bearer Annabella Rivera, our Sanpor Joshua Rivera, with sands from the beaches of La Ocho.
Accueillons l'équipe de Porto Rico, porte-drapeau Annabella Rivera, sable porté par Joshua Rivera, et il nous vient de La Ocho.
Next, let's welcome Team Saudi Arabia with our flag bearer Hassan Ajaj, Sandpour Rawan Barik, with sands from the beach of Dura Al Arais.
Accueillons l'équipe de l'Arabie Saoudite, porte-drapeau Hassan Azaj, sable porté par Ravan Barik, et il nous vient de la plage de Dura Al Arous.
Next, let's welcome Team South Africa with our flag bearer Jethro Johnson, Sandpour Yvette Terblanche, with sands from the beach of Muizenberg.
Accueillons maintenant l'Afrique du Sud avec pour porte-drapeau Jethro Johnson, sable porté par Yvette Terblanche de la plage de Muizenberg.
Next, let's welcome Team Spain with our flag bearer Elena Echeverria, Sandpour Joan Bolero, with sands from the beaches of La Cícer.
L'Espagne, porte-drapeau Elena Echeverria, sable porté par Joan Valero, et il nous vient de la Cícer.
Next, let's welcome Team Switzerland with our flag bearer Nick Credenand, Sandpour Anna Chersky, with sands from the beach of Lake Thun.
La Suisse, porte-drapeau Nick Crétenant, sable porté par Anna Tchirki, et il nous vient du lac de Thun.
Let's welcome Team USA with our flag bearer Bobo Gallagher, Sandpour Kanani Yokman, with sands from the beach of Lahaina, Maui, Hawaii.
L'équipe des États-Unis, porte-drapeau Bobo Gallagher, sable versé par Kanani Yokman, il nous vient de Lahaina, Maui, Hawaï.
And now let's give a warm welcome to our host country, Team France, with flag bearer Vaik Gario, Sandpour Julia Risso, with sands from the beach of La Sables-d'Olonne.
Accueillons chaleureusement la France avec son porte-drapeau Vaik Gariou. Le sable est porté par la jeune Julia Risso et il nous vient des Sables-d'Olonne.
And now it is my great pleasure to present to you ISA Judge Andrea Silva and Justine Dupont, representing Team France, who have been nominated to swear an oath for good sportsmanship in the name of all the judges and athletes.
Et maintenant, je suis ravi de vous présenter le juge de l'ISA, Andrea Silva, et Justine Dupont, représentante de l'équipe de France, qui ont été choisis pour prêter serment au nom de l'esprit sportif pour tous les juges et athlètes.
Bonjour à tous. the name of the athletes, we promise to take part in this 2023 ISA World SUP and Paddleboard Championship in Les Sables-d'Olonne, France, respecting and abiding by the ISA rules and in the spirit of fair play, inclusion and equality. Together we stand in solidarity and commit ourselves to surfing without doping, without cheating, without any form of discrimination. We do this for the honor of our team, in respect of the fundamental principles of Olympics, and to make the world a better place through surfing. Thank you, merci.
In the name of all judges, we promise to take part in this 2023 ISA World SUP and Paddleboard Championship in Les Sables-d'Olonne, France, respecting and abiding by the ISA rules and the spirit of fair play, inclusion, and equality. Together we stand in solidarity and commit ourselves to surfing without doping, without cheating, without any form of discrimination. We do this for the honor of our teams, in respect for the fundamental principles of Olympism, and to make to the world a better place through surfing. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Justine and Andrea.
Merci Justine et Andrea.
And now we have the pleasure to share a recorded video message from the ISA president, Fernando Aguirre, who is unfortunately unable to be present today.
Et maintenant, nous avons le plaisir de vous un message vidéo enregistré par le président de l'ISA, qui n'a malheureusement pas pu être présent parmi nous aujourd'hui, Fernando Aguirre.
Hello everybody at the ISA World SUP and Paddleboard Championships. This is my greatest honor is to lead these words with you. I cannot be there as I wish I could, and I know this is going to be an amazing championship. I want to thank our host for putting this incredibly successful event. The world of SUP and Paddleboard comes together once a year, and this is where we come today. So please enjoy this time. It's a special time to join riding and competing against people that you might know, friends from prior competitions, and new friends. So to all of you, ladies and gentlemen of the SUP community, we're very, very happy to have you today in this 2023 World Championship. We hope you have a great time, enjoy our the camaraderie, the kindness of our hosts, and go home happy to be part of this wonderful competition. In just another month, we'll be with the SUP Surfing and SUP Racing Pan American Championships, part of the Pan Am Games, gold medals in competition in our work towards the inclusion of SUP in the Olympic Games. Just like we did with surfing, we'll get SUP in the Olympic Games. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy the competition. Congratulations for everybody for being there. And you might or might not get to get home with medals, but you're a champion because you're there representing your country. And that's the highest honor for any athlete in the world. Compete representing your country. Thank you very much. Aloha. Muchas gracias.
Thank you, President Aguirre. Now we are pleased to welcome a local performance, Danse Tahitienne Mave Mai.
Merci d'accueillir la troupe tahitienne Mave Mai pour une performance de danse tahitienne.
Thank you very much, Marimai. And now it is my privilege to introduce you to Yannick Moreau, the mayor of Les Sables-d'Olonne.
Nous avons maintenant le privilège d'accueillir Yannick Moreau, maire des Sables-d'Olonne. Rassurez-vous, je ne vais pas danser. C'est un peu tôt.
Vous pouvez.
Don't worry, everyone, I'm not gonna dance.
It's a bit early, but later we'll see. Je voulais simplement vous souhaiter la bienvenue sous le soleil des Sables-d'Olonne et de la Vendée.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very happy to greet you here under the great sun in Les Sables-d'Olonne.
Je voudrais dire 3 mots pour ne pas alourdir cette cérémonie d'ouverture.
I would like just to say 3 words, not to make this ceremony too long and too heavy.
Mon premier mot, c'est un clin d'œil. Un clin d'œil pour Caroline Angibault, notre championne des Sables-d'Olonne, championne du monde de wave ski, vice-championne du monde de paddle, de stand-up paddle. Caroline, on t'applaudit, on t'embrasse, si tu veux bien te lever, parce que les gens derrière t'ont pas vu. Bravo, Caroline.
The first word is gonna go to Caroline Angibault, which is the great champion here, locally here, and in that you know, wild world.
Le deuxième mot, c'est pour les organisateurs et les partenaires de ces championnats du monde.
And the second word are going to go to all benevoles and organization here in Les Sables-d'Olonne for this great stand-up paddle world championship.
Nous avons décidé d'organiser ces championnats du monde en moins de 5 mois.
We've decided to organize everything here less than 5 months.
Et ça, c'est un challenge, un défi que nous nous sommes lancés à nous-mêmes. Alors, je voudrais remercier Alain Leboeuf, le président du département de la Vendée, qui a tout de suite dit oui, oui, la Vendée, les Sables-d'Olonne doivent accueillir les championnats du monde. Et avec Alain Leboeuf et le département, on peut faire des choses incroyables ensemble.
So I'd like to thank the department who were really willing to organize the best as possible in a shorter time these World Great Championships, and we want to thank them all.
Je voudrais remercier les partenaires privés qui sont sur les panneaux, vous les verrez. Il y a Leclerc, il y a bien d'autres qui ont accepté, Urbacer, de nous donner un coup de main pour organiser cette cérémonie et ces championnats.
We'd like to thank all private enterprises that are here around the village, everywhere, like Leclerc, and all private partners who are already here to who are really willing to organize everything the best they can.
Je voudrais remercier aussi, naturellement, la Fédération internationale pour sa confiance, la Fédération européenne, la Fédération française, qui nous ont fait confiance et qui ont dit oui, en 5 mois, vous pouvez le faire. Et on leur a dit oui, on va le faire.
So we want to thank the French French Federation, European Federation, who are really willing also to organize in a shorter time.
Et tout ça, naturellement, ne serait pas possible sans le soleil des Sables-d'Olonne, sans la bonne humeur et l'énergie des centaines de bénévoles qui sont mobilisés autour de Pascal Caduc et de toute l'équipe d'organisation. Merci Pascal, merci à tous les bénévoles qui font battre le cœur des Sables-d'Olonne et de la Vendée.
And everything has been possible here thanks to Pascal Caduc, his team, his family, and all the bénévoles who are really here to make this moment happen, a great moment here this year.
Alors on avait une peur tout à l'heure en voyant les drapeaux. Certains Sablés ont cru que c'était la Coupe du Monde du rugby qui venait s'installer aux Sables-d'Olonne.
Some people were thinking that it was the World Championship for rugby here in the Sables-d'Olonne.
Et on a eu peur que les championnats du monde de stand-up paddle éclipsent, effacent la Coupe du monde de rugby.
And we were afraid that these stand-up paddle championships will pass over the rugby competition.
Alors on a installé des écrans géants pour retransmettre les matchs, pour voir l'Afrique du Sud, la France, l'Irlande gagner. On verra que le meilleur gagne.
So we've decided to put screens everywhere so we can follow both competitions together.
Et je voudrais à toutes et à tous vous souhaiter une très belle semaine aux Sables-d'Olonne. J'espère que dimanche prochain, vous aurez passé une excellente semaine, que vous serez régalés des vagues de la baie des Sables-d'Olonne. Et j'espère qu'à nouveau, dimanche prochain, à peu près à la même heure, on entendra à nouveau résonner la Marseillaise. Belle semaine à toutes et à tous.
So we wish you all a very, very pleasant week, exciting, and we hope to see you here next weekend. We hope that this place is going to be very overcrowded, and we hope that we are going to hear again the Marseillaise.
Thank you, Mayor Moreau and Elsa.
Merci, Monsieur le maire.
Now it is my privilege to introduce you to Alain Leboeuf, the president of the Vendée County Council.
Nous avons maintenant le privilège d'accueillir Alain Leboeuf, président du conseil départemental de la Vendée.
Bonjour à toutes et à tous. Je salue bien évidemment mon ami Yannick Moreau, monsieur le maire ici des Sables-d'Olonne.
Hello everyone. I would like to thank, of course, the mayor of the Sables-d'Olonne, Monsieur Yannick Moreau.
Alors je salue bien évidemment les autorités internationales qui se sont exprimées, européennes qui sont ici, et puis bien sûr nos amis sablais.
Thanks to all inhabitants of the Sables-d'Olonne, the European Federation and the International Federation to be here today.
C'est vrai, lorsque Yannick m'a appelé au téléphone pour me dire « Alain, il y a une compétition qu'on pourrait peut-être organiser ici en Vendée au Sables-d'Olonne. »
When Yannick suggested me that we should host the Stand-Up Paddle World Championships here in Les Sables-d'Olonne in the Vendée, I didn't hesitate for a moment. We couldn't pass such an opportunity.
Vous avez compris qu'entre Yannick et Alain, il se passe quelque chose d'assez extraordinaire. C'est que quand il faut faire vibrer le cœur des Vendéens, Yannick et Alain sont là.
Yannick and Alain are very here to organize great moments, to make our hearts beating very hard.
Et nous vous l'avions promis, Monsieur le Président, que nous ferions une grande fête à la mode vendéenne. C'est ce que vous voyez ce soir. La foule est présente. C'est ce que nous savons faire ici en Vendée.
We promised that we wanted to make a great event here in Les Sables-d'Olonne, and as you can see today, it is really a great moment, very intense.
Chers amis de tous les pays, merci de nous rejoindre. La Vendée est la terre des grands événements.
Thanks for coming here. La Vendée has always been a land for great events.
La terre où nous organisons les grands départs du Tour de France qui sont retransmis sur toutes les télévisions du monde.
The lands where we organize every year, as you know, maybe the very famous Tour de France.
La terre où se déroule le Puy du Fou qui reçoit les plus grandes récompenses internationales et aux États-Unis en particulier.
The land of the very famous entertainment park, well known, le Puy du Fou.
Et puis, bien sûr, la terre où, ici au Sables-d'Olonne, on lance ce grand départ, une fois de plus, du Vendée Globe, où ces marins vont faire le tour du monde en partant ici, des Sables-d'Olonne, de la Vendée.
And the land of the very famous place where all seamen goes around the world, le Vendée Globe.
Ce sera le 10 novembre 2024. Vous pourrez, là aussi, une fois de plus, rêver en ouvrant vos postes de télévision ou sur les réseaux sociaux, quels qu'ils soient.
It's going to be on the 10th of November, and you are going to be able to dream and see all these wonderful landscapes on TV, and you will enjoy that moment.
La Vendée, c'est la terre des grands événements, c'est aussi 270 km de plage, la force de cet océan qui fait aussi notre belle réputation.
The Sables-d'Olonne, it's also a great coast for more than 270 kilometers long with great beaches, and this is one of the most important things here in Les Sables-d'Olonne, and you will enjoy it.
Et avec Yannick, nous sommes heureux de vous accueillir ici dans l'une de ces plus belles baies du monde, mon ami Yannick.
And we are greeting you here from all around the world in this great bay, wonderful and with great landscapes.
C'est la terre des grands événements, mais c'est aussi la terre du sport, comme vous le devinez.
It's the sports land here in Les Sables-d'Olonne, very famous for sports.
Et la Vendée met beaucoup d'argent sur le sport parce que nous sommes persuadé que c'est l'épanouissement aussi de nos populations et de notre jeunesse.
Here locally, we put a lot of money on this land for all kinds of sports to develop here, and we think that this is very important for our region.
Vous allez être pour nous pendant une semaine ce que nous allons beaucoup observer. Vous êtes ces champions qui êtes capables de vous surpasser, de démontrer le meilleur de vous-même. Vous allez être de vrais exemples pour nos jeunes Vendéens en particulier.
And you all your great teams, you are going to be our champions. You are going to work very hard to show to the complete world that you are willing to make yourself the best. You're going to improve the best you can, and we are very proud of it.
Alors, avec Yannick, nous sommes très très heureux d'organiser ce grand championnat du monde. Ça va être une grande fête en Vendée. Une fois de plus, comme tu l'as dit Yannick, grâce à ces bénévoles aussi qui se sont beaucoup investis. Merci beaucoup à eux.
Thanks again one more time to all bénévoles with the Mayor Yannick. We want to thank you all for being here and make this great event happening.
Alors, excellente semaine en Vendée, au Sables-d'Olonne, ici pour tous. Épanouissez-vous, dépensez-vous et faites-nous rêver.
Great weeks to everyone. Make the best of it. Have fun, and we are very happy to share that with you for this week and next weekend, and we want to see you all here.
Thank you, Mr. Leboeuf.
Merci, Monsieur le Président.
Now we would like to invite the flag bearers from all nations to come on stage to represent the union of all the colors of the flags for peace, camaraderie, and good sportsmanship. Flag bearers, please come stand with the Mayor of Les Sables-d'Olonne, Yannick Moreau, and the President of the Vendée County Council, Alain Leboeuf, who will officially declare the 2023 ISA World SUP and Paddleboard Championship open.
Nous aimerions maintenant inviter les porte-drapeaux de toutes les nations à monter sur scène pour représenter l'union de toutes les couleurs des drapeaux pour la paix, la camaraderie et le bon esprit sportif. Chers porteurs de drapeaux, venez nous rejoindre avec Yannick Moreau, maire des Sables-d'Olonne, et Alain Leboeuf, président du conseil départemental de Vendée, qui vont officiellement ouvrir les championnats du monde de stand-up paddle et paddleboard de l'ISA 2023.
I officially declare the 23 ISA World SUP and Paddleboard Championship open.
A better world through surfing. Thank you, ocean. Mahalo. A better world ¡Ahí va Seba! ¡Llegaron los incas!
Ta-dam!